Hi, today we're analyzing Michael Hobbs' article from the HuffPost called Millennials Are Screwed. It is about the future of millennials as the misunderstood generation that is trapped in a system made to make them fail, but are still wrongly blamed for failing to attain an impossible financial stability. In a recent article from his blog, Hobbs elaborates on the context of the HuffPost article where he says, and I quote, "Young people are now failing in the US economy. The US economy is failing them." End of quote. Throughout the article, Hobbes reveals what he presents as the raw and hurtful truth behind our dark but inevitable fate. As he says in his article, and I quote, "All of us are headed for a very dark place." End of quote. To put this back in context, Michael Hobbs is a 35-year-old blogger and freelance writer from Seattle. He describes himself on Twitter as solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short, unveiling a natural pessimism that is further portrayed in the way he describes the sad fate of millennials, calling them the class of "oh no, heaven help you if you graduated on the wrong side of recession." He's being cynical, almost ironic as to the fate of millennials, reflecting how desperate, tired, and angry he is about the wrongness of the matter. Additionally, and like in many of his articles, the HuffPost article reflects some kind of skepticism that seems to have become his trademark. He writes in his blog, "Like everything I write, it began as a nitpick." This mindset is again found in his article where he presents his findings almost like a disturbing truth that the government and other generations don't want us to realize. He's trying to prove how everyone got everything wrong and how we, millennials, are the ones to endure the consequences. He says in his blog, and I quote, "It was like this for months. Every time I met someone, they led me to a novel way that young people have it harder than their parents." As a millennial himself, Michael Hobbs has been maintaining a blog since he was 22 years old, and has not started writing articles for the HuffPost until the age of 30. This 8-year gap unsurprisingly corresponds to the period where he could have taken a job, but it also coincides with the Great Recession, where employment rates among millennials were at their lowest. Based on that, Hobbs has most certainly gone through this whole struggle of millennials, and thus takes things very personally, which eventually developed the anger we can feel in his writing, where he says, and I quote, "Now, for freelancers and temps and short-term contractor, i.e. us, those benefits might as well be monopoly money." End of quote. We notice his use of the pronoun us, while himself was a freelancer. Being a millennial myself, I resonated a lot with this article. First, its design seems like it was tailored to what we may call the tech generation, as it is full of interactive and dynamic designs. The abbreviations of urban expressions also helped me identify to this text, especially using shortcuts like FML, FTW, which eventually reinforces this image of the author as a fellow millennial who is not shy to tell the raw truth that elders don't want to admit. This is further supported by elements like glossary of grandpa and the way he refers to the baby boomers as the people who screwed us. It is clear that the audience targeted was the millennials themselves, with an intent of showing despise to older generations. They don't even need to understand the article anyway because of course they don't even care about us. All of these elements help me identify to the matter, but for some reason I still do not feel as angry and worried as the author himself. In fact, I personally don't plan on living in the US, and as far as I know, I am less likely to encounter such problems back in Morocco, for it has not been as impacted by the Great Recession as the US. My country is still a developing country, so there is a lot to be done, which means more jobs and opportunities for youth and millennials in general. Through his experience, the author might thus have been more biased and skewed opinion about our future than I do.